Evening, guys. Hope you are all enjoying a Friday night. As you can tell by the just quick big title, it's a WrestleMania stream. But before we get into but before we actually get into the conversation tonight, I put the links to Sean and Tom's YouTube channel and chat, also the description. Sean's and um band's album on Spotify is also down in the description, as well as everybody's X accounts. So Tom will be joining us in a few minutes, but I'm here tonight if obviously my pal on how you doing, and this is the second stream in a bounce here who've actually been on the channel, so a channel first.
Yeah, I know, and also like I've done more videos with you on your channel than on my own channel this year.
Yeah.
Yes, but that's cool though. Like, I really appreciate you having me back on. I've been really looking forward to this one. Well, ever since we talked about it, even before the last one we did. So yeah, hello, and big up yourself, Daniel Scottish Stavros, for making the decision to do this stream, and also to move it, because it was originally Saturday and you moved it to Friday, which helped both out really in the end. So nice one. And yeah, WrestleMania.
I've got something even better than WrestleMania that we'll touch on in just a second. So as you know, I've come onto this channel in various live streams with you and bitched and complained about Scotland not having her own pay-per-view, and to the delight of me, even although it first stuff or it was an April Fool's joke, like somebody up in the pish, because like, let's be honest, stuff like that's happened before, especially in the wrestling community. And to the delight of me, even although tickets still haven't been up for sale yet, Ovo Hydro, what the hell you doing? Get a move on with selling the ticket. It's because I've been eagle-eyed on the Ovo Hydro social media pages, but to the delight of myself and various other Scottish wrestling fans, finally, a pay-per-view in Scotland, and I have to actually say it's about fucking time we got one. And because like, let's face it, you've got Drew McIntyre, and you called him by that show real name.
I noticed that, yeah, and always called him Drew Galloway there.
You've got Drew McIntyre, you've got Albert Fire and Isla Dawn, and you've got various NXT talent. You've got Nikki Ross as well, still under the the company. So to me, it is about time, and I don't know why the Hydro kind of felt like an afterthought before this, because it's thoroughfare in the arena. It opened 10 years ago, and like unpacked it, so and also had a live episode that unpacked that is art back in 2014 at the Hydro, so I don't know what WWE haven't decided haven't decided to actually do a pay-per-view at the Hydro, because Impact actually improved to our live broadcast for on the Hydro is impossible. Basically, it's absolutely you don't. I'm absolutely delighted. He offers so in fun, but also as a Scottish citizen, basically, because it's about because it's about time the Scottish got some off from WWE, to be honest.
Yeah, no, I totally agree, mate. I did say to you for a while, I was like, it's only a matter of time. They have to,
Yeah,
because like they've been everywhere bloody else in the UK as well. Well, part of have they been? Have
yeah,
they been to Ireland? I don't think they've been to Ireland either. But yeah, or maybe they have. I can't remember. But like Scotland was the big one. You know what I mean? That they haven't gone to. And yeah, and talking of the Hydro, like I'm surprised as well, because a lot of like the big bands that I'm into have played there many times. You know, like
yeah,
Iron Maiden, those like they played there quite a bit. So you'd think
yeah,
on there before, you know. So like you say, about
yeah,
fucking time. But
yeah,
yeah, oh, yeah, it's a strange one that I know there's pre-sale. They've done the whole pre-sale thing, so
yeah.
you can go to the pre-sale and register, but I don't know when exactly the tickets are available or when they'll go on to general sale.
Yeah, because I need a disabled ticket as well,
Yeah,
obviously, because I'm obviously in chair, so I don't know how that'll actually figure it out, but I'll have to
yeah,
actually check that. But anyway, in my case, you've got so much, you've got so much talent on the roster,
mhm.
and I've actually, he said you before about independent promotions like ICW and all other and they get they get pretty big crowds when have get their own sort of all one basically so the audience and fan base is here for such a big event, because as I've actually paid attention to the past couple of UK paper of using the and I sat there during both the last shit the car so on in the bank, and I sat here on um um onshore in the next year, so in next year, and I got a bit emotional about it, because I got a bit emotional about it, and I know I'm going to I know I'm going to sound a bit of a I know I'm going to sound a bit of a fan here, but I'm just as passionate as say other fans in the UK. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Sometimes, yeah. Well, even
yeah,
more. Do you know you are like the epitome of a passionate wrestling fan, and it's fucking great. So you know, you guys deserve to have it up there.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, bring it on. Unfortunately, I can't make it due to a fucking prior engagement, which happened to be at the same weekend. Otherwise, I would have bells on. But yeah, I'm sure it'll be the first of many, and we'll finally be able to have a few Iron Brews together.
Yeah, and I hope as that some of the Scottish talent get some of the get some time on that show, because you had because you had a lot of the Australian talent in Perth showcased on the show. So I'm hoping as well, I'm hoping as well from a Scottish perspective, you can get to see some of the Scottish talent that are currently signed on the show. I think Jerome McIntyre will be in the main event. I'll get his name. I'll get his name right.
Big Drew. Just call him Big Drew.
I used his real name here because he used it, and because he used it back in patent ICW. So, off, guys, if you're watching, seeing it after the fact. But I'm hoping maybe Alba Fire and I would on get a proper shot, because they've been terrible on okay of injuries and but I've been in sort of fall when Alba Fire's career for pretty much for pretty much in the last the last number of years, and I think she's an amazing and it's just she's not had the opportunity because of the injury.
Yeah, and I'm sure they have to. Oh, am I back? Sorry, sorry, it went weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have to showcase them. I think if Vince McMahon was still in charge, then they probably would just screw them all over, because that's what Vince liked to do back in the day. Yeah. Well, fuck you. Do you know what I mean? But I think, and I think, is Piper Niven still? Is she? What's she doing?
Yeah. She's still on the roster. She is actually an amazing talent. Should actually go on the network after this, because if you're because if you're in Woven having IC show is actually on the network and Alpha Alpha is her in a hard match, and it's a pretty good match, but I'll bring in the next annual.
Yeah, I just got a message from him saying, "Let me in." All right, Tom.
Hi guys, can you hear and see me? Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent. How? Sorry, I'm late. I was just getting ready to come on. Then all of a sudden, my baby ended up having an absolute crying fit, so I had to deal with him.
They know when you're busy, you're about to do something.
Yeah.
Nana.
Yeah, no, you ain't going in yet.
No.
How have you guys been? All right. So, how you guys?
Yeah.
Been, all right?
Excited
this year?
Excited for Ash at the Castle.
Not WrestleMania then.
Yeah. That was the opening gambit. It was like obviously being a proud.
I in Scotland, so I'm happy.
I bet you're delighted.
Mm-hmm.
What have you guys been talking about?
Just that so far.
Yeah, just to that so far.
Okay.
Yeah, but talking about, like I was saying to Daniel a minute ago, it's like if Vince McMahon was still in charge, he'd probably be like, "Oh, fuck all the Scottish talent," because that's what he used to do when you went to your hometown. He'd be like, "No, you ain't winning." But now I think they'll probably get more of a showcase. I think, especially like you said, Daniel, Drew McIntyre surely has to be in the main event for that show.
Yeah, and I hope actually they give him his ICW theme that I sent you, earlier to a band called Psychedel. He actually wrote and a band from it's going to do all of the ICW sort of entrance music and stuff, so they're connected to Scott is so and I hope they give him his ICW entrance music because it's at the hydro, so it has to kind of happen in this. And so given that music as I'm a sentimental our basic goal is but
All at heart, aren't we? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, again, if under a different regime, that there would be no chance of that happening. But I think it's more nuanced. I think this era. I think you could probably get stuff like that now because
me and Sean were talking the other day. Imagine, so I think like The Rock turning heel has been like, and then pivoting is like easily the best move they've made leading into WrestleMania. But if like Vince was still in charge, do you think he would have just dug his elbows and said, "No, I want Rock versus Roman"?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think, I think so because he's got, because he does have a bit of a hard on for some own sort of basically.
I mean, even took a Samoa Yokozuna and turned him into a sumo wrestler. At the end of every match, we go Samoa at the end of it. Japanese sumo wrestler.
Japanese, yeah.
What do we want to do? Are we doing WrestleMania predictions or?
Kinda, but both because I thought for the first half of the stream you'll kind of go through the card, and then the second half of the stream will go through some of the older matches, but we'll go through the card right, and then if I can just remember how to share the screen because I've got it on
I assume the card. I assume the card is. Sorry to interrupt, Dan. I assume the card is all finalised now. There's no more matches left to announce. There should be.
It's all finalised.
Okay.
Screen.
Sorry, Daniel. Carry on.
Share screen.
Share the screen. Okay.
Here we go. Here's the name on already. Yeah, that Bill versus Becky Lynch on for the versus Sami Zayn, the X-Pac the six-pack challenge actually they've got Jimmy versus you've got you've got the six female tag actually they've got You've got Mysterio and Dragon Eve versus Escobar and Mysterio, and you've got and you've got obviously in the talking woman versus odds and all, and so I'll start off from after us tonight to start off. So
Who's
who
gonna
wants
start
to give the predictions?
it? I don't mind your show, Daniel or Tom. I'm easy.
I don't mind who goes first. I mean,
Unless you want to do it like a week, like match by match or something.
Yeah. Let's go. Let's do it by match for us. So Sean, do you want to give your first prediction?
Okay, so I'm assuming the way they've done this is actually going to be the running order.
I think it is.
Yeah.
I think
Right,
this was
okay.
confirmed on Twitter, X, whatever you want to
Okay.
call it.
Yeah.
So all right. Well, let's start from the beginning. Rhea Ripley versus Becky Lynch. I've got a sneaking suspicion that Rhea's going to retain. However, the way I would prefer it if Becky won, and there was sort of like a double turn, because I reckon
Yeah.
you're going to disagree with me, Daniel, and probably Tom on this as well. But I just think Rhea's lost a little bit of that momentum that she had last year. Because I don't.
Controversial. It was me that is the heel in the last discussion. Sean's the heel in the last discussion. Do you know what? You know I'm a big Europe Billy fan, but I take your point, so carry on.
Yeah, I just think I don't know. I think because the fans, she's generally basically getting a face reaction wherever she goes anyway.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, who else has like any sort of legitimate credence to challenge her going forward if she does retain? Like, there's no really. I mean, you could have Becky again, but then it's like, do we really want to see that again? I don't know. Or you've got bloody Nia Jax again, and I don't think anyone wants to see that. Do you know what I mean?
Frankly,
Nah, she is absolutely shite.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
I agree with you with everything you've just said, Sean. I think Rhea Ripley, as talented as she is, I think her run with the title's been very underwhelming. So I think getting that belt off of her and putting it on Lynch and doing some sort of double turn, that's how I would like to see it go. But my prediction is that Ripley will retain. If she's going to drop it to anyone, I think she'll drop it to Jade Cargill at like maybe a Saudi show, something like that.
Yeah.
But I think that WWE are clearly very high on Rhea at the moment, and Becky's now at sort of like, I don't want to say the tail end of her career. I don't think that at all, but it is. You know, you've got to start pushing the newer generation over. So, and I think it's going to be a bit of a passing of the torch moment. But I much prefer your way of going about it, Sean, doing a double turn.
Yeah, I just don't know. I just think it'd be interesting to see Rhea on a chase and on a kind of like sort of a fake, because I think Judgment Day are going to sort of dissolve quite soon, if not completely WrestleMania. And I think she's going to be the catalyst for that, because she is the star of that faction. Let's face it. So so I think, and also I think it'd be interesting to see how maybe not necessarily, she doesn't necessarily have to be like a chicken shit heel, but if Becky's like goes on a kind of final boss sort of run where she's like, well, I am the fucking man, so try and stop me. Do you know what I mean? So something like that, but my actual, like, my head is saying Rhea.
I must admit, I'm impressed. Not to dwell on one match for too long, but I must admit, considering Rhea's been a pretty lackluster title reign, the fact she's still really over is quite as over as she is pretty impressive.
Yeah.
I must admit, because I found it, as I said, I found it very underwhelming. But I think Rhea Ripley will ultimately retain.
See the reason why I think she would have gained is because know how last year she beat Charlotte. I think they kinda want her to do the sort of hat trick of the four horse.
Yeah.
In a sense and have like the actually dominate that sort of generation of and so that she can eventually become like the standard bearer heading into the next sort of generation, and that's why I think she'll beat Gail Inch, because I think they will want her to do the hat trick. Obviously, if she can't, do the or Jericho, because I said he's on, he has just jumped ship up over the road to AEW, but that's kind of the that's kind of the reason, and I think already to be honest
Yeah.
with you.
Yeah. Oh, and Sam, sorry, not sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that a is that a triple threat for Rhea then?
Yeah. I'll be
Okay.
quite surprised if she doesn't retain the title.
Me too. This is just like fantasy booking. It's not what we want to happen; it's what should happen. All all that good stuff.
So the IC title match on Thunder friends against Amis saying, and I'm gonna go with the other champion because Chad Abel on Sami Zayn and lost in the championship.
Yeah, that's exactly what I think is going to happen as well, mate. So not really much more to add to that, really.
I mean, the only thing I would say, I'm a little bit salty that it's Sami Zayn and not Chad Gable in this match.
Yeah, I thought you
I
might.
felt like it would have been a much better story, with the whole. He could have had his daughter there in front row.
Yeah.
And if there was ever a time where somebody could beat Gunther, overcome the unstoppable monster, I like the idea of Chad Gable finally doing it and redeeming himself, and the big hug with the daughter at the end. I think Gunther will win. Gunther is, I would say, easily my favorite wrestler to watch on the roster at the moment. I think his work has been. I actually think he's the greatest IC champion of all time. That's how high.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah,
I think he has been a phenomenal champion, and he's made that belt really. Well, the way obviously he's been booked that way, but he's made that belt feel just as important as if it's a world title or the WWE Championship. He's outstanding. He's never had a bad match. At least I haven't seen one. So I think if Sami Zayn were to win, it would be a total waste of all that work they've done with Gunther. The only exception would have been Chad Gable for me. But no, I think Gunther will retain, and I think Chad Gable will turn heel on Sami Zayn, or accidentally cost Sami the match inadvertently, and that would set up a rivalry with those two. And Gunther, if Gunther's ever going to lose that title, I think it will be to someone like a Bron Breakker when they finally bring him up at like a SummerSlam, something like that.
Or Dragunov when they bring him up.
Dragunov from NXT.
Oh, right, sorry, I didn't catch what Sean said. Okay, so that's another hat trick there.
Yeah. We're all on the same page at the moment.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So it's a six-pack challenge. I done my match. Try saying that in your past, but anyway. The teams in this match are the Judgment Day, which is Finn Balor and Damien Priest. Which is Johnny Gargano and So Ciampa, you've got Awesome Truth, which is obviously as in a Truth. You've got the New Day, Kofi Kingston, and Xavier Woods, A-Town Down Under, which is Austin and Theory and Grayson. Oh, and the new catch the public which is Pete the on and the title but so we'll go over him first for this match. Who do you think?
I think Sean's disappeared, so
I'm still here.
All right.
Just having a vape, but I don't. Obviously, I want to like put it on screen.
Well, I'll go first then. I think ultimately they want to get the tag. I think they want to get the tag belts off of the Judgment Day, because I think they want to free Damian Priest up to eventually cash that briefcase and the Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
So I don't think that. How I've understood it is that both tag titles are going to be on the line.
Yeah.
So there's a chance that two separate teams could win one of the belts. That's how I've understood it.
Yeah.
So if that is the case, I think they will. I think the Awesome Truth will win one of the belts. Who will win the other belts? I mean, I don't know. Probably.
I'd give it to
probably be Austin.
I'd actually give it to the New Catch Republic else, because if you think about it though, they've just announced another UK pay-per-view, so in order to maybe build up interest, they might put maybe the SmackDown belts on the New Catch Republic and give the Awesome Truth their attack and also in order to build on that a little bit of extra interest heading into the castle in this I don't know how you guys would feel about that.
Yeah.
Sorry, Sean, go ahead.
No, it's all right, come.
Truth be told, I'm a little bit indifferent on who wins this match. I just think ultimately they need to get the belts off of the Judgment Day. I think they'll want to put it on a face tag team and a heel tag team. So Awesome Truth, they will pick up. I think Awesome Truth, I feel pretty confident making that prediction that they will take one of the belts or one pair of belts, whatever you want to call it. And I think the other team, they'd want to put it on a heel team. And I think looking at that, unless I've missed someone outside of the Judgment Day, the next heel team is the
Austin Theory and Grayson.
So that's why I think they'll put it on them. But who wins this match? I'm not really that fussed, to be honest with you.
No, I'm kind of the same. I think the match itself will be a fucking like crazy spot fest. It'll be worth a watch for sure. But I think Awesome Truth. I think they'll do some wacky shit with R-Truth, where he's grabbed like one belt and he thinks that's the match finished, and then he's like, oh wait, hang on, no, there's the other ones. And I think he'll like back and think that's it. Do you know what I mean? And Miz will be out there by himself. And then from it's a toss up between your two's other predictions for me, because I think A-Town Down Under. I don't know. I think again they could do with maybe a little bit of momentum, especially Austin Theory. I think he's been fucking just like completely like disregarded
since
he's he's seen more canvas and Pablo Picasso at them.
I don't know. I think eventually that might lead to one of the two of them turning face against the other. So I think it will end up in Austin Theory turning in face, because there's a
I agree.
Because as a heel is on an effect It's because there's a lot strong or heels and they're lost, and he's kind of getting lost in the shuffle in regards to the heel side of the or if you know what and so he's in desperate need of a reset, to be honest.
Yeah, because I mean, he's got like, you know, he's chiseled out of stone. He's got the look,
Yeah,
but the characters just failed. I mean, he kind of got to a good point when they were making him a bit more of an edgy sort of character, where he was just like losing his shit and beating the shit out of people after matches and stuff like that. And then they kind of
yeah,
dropped it and went back to the sort of cocky, arrogant shit, and it just doesn't
yeah,
work for me, especially for him. I think yeah, they need to sort of repackage him, and I think that would lead nicely from him and Grayson Waller being the tag champions. So yeah, I think those two.
interesting, interesting predictions. We all went for different such choices in that one. So the next match on the card, I believe, is Oren Bianca. That will delight me. You get Jake Argo and Naomi versus the Damage Control. I'm gonna go with Oren Bianca's him to get them
What about
and
Jimmy and Jey Uso?
and yeah,
Oh, is
and
that before or after the Usos match?
We've missed that Jimmy and Uso
alright,
Oh
versus.
yeah,
alright, if I oh,
Daniel,
alright, so
I don't blame you, Daniel, because the build up
yeah,
for this
so
has been garbage. So
yeah,
yeah, I don't blame you for skipping over it. I cannot believe that how poor the build up to this Jay versus
yeah,
has been.
yeah.
I don't really care who wins, to be honest with you. I'm not really a fan of either of them. If I had to pick, I'm team no yeet because I hate that word. So
I think, yeah, but I think it'll be Jade, and I think it'll be Jade to get them in because they seem a bit higher than Jade than they are Jimmy, if you know
Yeah,
what I mean. Because they've had Jimmy sort of ooze a bit more often on SmackDown since off. So I think potentially they're a bit higher than Jimmy, to be honest, because Jimmy's got about five different versions of that you shut out already in the
yeah,
shades now. So I think they're a bit higher than Jimmy than they are than they are Jimmy's. Sorry, so I'm going to go over with G to get them. And to be honest,
yeah.
I don't know about you guys.
I'm going with Jay as well. I think okay, even though the build up has been pretty wank, I think
Yeah,
overall, when you consider the bigger picture, I think Jimmy has screwed over Jay countless times now, and I think, like you say, Jay's got more of the momentum. He's got the bigger reaction. I mean, they could just like say, right, let's just make this the Bloodlines night and have Jimmy win. But I reckon it will be. I've got it. For me, this thing feels like one of the more predictable results of the night,
yeah,
and I think they'll want that for they'll want the sort of the image of all those people going like that at the end of it. So yeah, I'm going with Jay.
I'm
yeah.
actually going to go with Jimmy because
Oh, here we go.
if I were Triple H and I were booking, I think Jay is already a really big established star who is already super over.
Yeah,
Whereas Jimmy's kind of not at that level yet.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I think Jimmy will go over in this match, which you hope will elevate him further. And then they'll have a rematch or something like that at SummerSlam, and Jay will get his win back. But I think they will give the. I actually think this is going to be the Bloodlines night. This one,
No, fair
I think
enough.
the Bloodline are going to win, including Jimmy. So I mean, I could be very wrong, but I'm just thinking of it. You know, Jay's already over. You know, people love his entrance. They love him in general. Whereas Jimmy, he's kind of just been drifting along with Roman and Solo. He hasn't really done anything worth of note. So beating Jay, who's super over, I think will elevate him a little bit. So they're more on the same pecking order with each other. But I think Jay will ultimately get that win back in the end. So I'm gonna stick my neck out there, and I'm gonna go with the wild card and pick Jimmy Uso.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. No, but I like the sort of reasoning behind it, and hopefully they do start to do something with Jimmy, because he's kind of just. He's just kind of been made to look like a fanny at the moment, just to I'm just like jobbing out constantly. He kind of want or heels to have a bit more credibility about them. You can't just have your heels all about on the random episodes of SmackDown. You've got to build your heels up, because the heels are what drives the business, is to be honest with you, in a sense.
I agree.
Like I said, I could be wrong. I mean, I mean, truth be told, if you pointed a gun to my head and said who you're going to pick, I probably would say Jey Uso. But I'm gonna throw a wild card out there and say Jimmy, because I've got the sneaking suspicion that's probably what they're thinking is backstage.
Okay, so we've had a preview of match number 5, because I was a kid and get confused about the match. So we've got Orenby and Jake Hargo and Naomi versus the Army Control Dakota. I Asuka and Clarice. Ian, I can't pronounce her name, sorry folks, but you know I'm going with this. And I think it's because it's just recently debuted. I think that this will be pretty much a sort of wash and count, to be honest with you, and Orenby, Yanka and Co get the victory here, to be honest.
I think this match is just going to be a showcase for Jade Cargill. I'll be flabbergasted if Damage Control wins. So I'm picking Boring Bianca, as you call her, Jade Cargill, and Naomi. I reckon this will actually be the shortest match on the card as well.
I think
it'll be like a 10-minute match.
I think about 30 minutes or something. This will be, I think, this will be like a 30-minute match, to be honest. I don't see it going any higher than that.
I mean, this is kind of like, every WrestleMania has that sort of, they have like 1 or 2 filler matches. This match to me, it's filler. It is what it is. It's there to showcase Jade Cargill. It puts Bianca Belair and Asuka and Damage Control on the card, and it gives Naomi gets on the card. To me, it's like, we've got to get these girls on the card. Let's just put them in a six woman tag match. So, but I'll be very surprised if Damage Control wins. I think that's backwards thinking when it comes to booking.
No, I think it's probably the most obvious outcome of the entire 2-night show, actually. And I reckon it's going to be a classic. Well, Jade's going to be sort of isolated while they focus on the other two, and then eventually Jade will get the hot tag and just obliterate everyone.
Naomi's going to play the baby face in peril for about 5 minutes, exactly. And then the tag will happen, and then it would just be chaos for like the last 2 to 3 minutes.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, guys, but I just can't stand Bianca Belair. She's so
right.
stale at this point, and she's so repetitive, and the whole you thing gets on my touch, to be honest.
No,
It just does my nothing.
I think she's the female John Cena, isn't she?
Yeah.
At this point, like they can't have any kind of edge to her whatsoever, and I totally get it. I mean, she does. Yeah, she's strong. That's about it. She has long hair.
She is long overdue a heel turn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I've been saying that on this channel for over a year. Over a year, every time I chat to Sean about the wrestling, that's the number one topic that comes up. That and the into paper review. Yeah, score the two. Are the two sort of topic areas that always comes up. If I so thankfully the Scotland pay-per-view's been resolved, but
you
come
got 1
on.
out of 2 so far.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got 1 out of 1. The next one might come true, but no, I think
Yeah.
if they're building to a Bianca and Jade match down the line, I think Jade's going to be the heel there, or at least like she's going to be like the edgier one of the two. I think.
I don't think they have. Don't they need more heel female wrestlers? Am I?
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like the vast majority of them are baby faces.
Yeah, I mean, Tiffany probably.
Stratton will eventually on Easter because of the answering the reactions she's getting, she'll turn face. So I think what they've done is turn Candice Ray heel, because if on top heel or recently if the whole sort of head for other sort of angle of my accent, but they've until you kind of a bit too soon and a bit too and a bit too out of know here to really do anything if I so take a point. But yeah, I think they'll start to turn to Tiffany babyface because she's getting sort of easily actions and if actually indicated that is to be honest because they were all for Tiffany elimination chamber and she's very easy on the eye. Let's be honest.
Without getting cancelled, yeah.
Yeah.
That does help. It does help a lot. Yeah. Yeah. The thing is, I think eventually this is going to build up to like Cargill being the sort of dominant heel, monster heel. I think that they've been looking for a while.
It's been a while since they've had like a real dominant. Because going by her physique, Jade Cargill's like the closest you would get to like a China or like a Brock Lesnar female equivalent. Do you know what I mean?
Or an Awesome Kong type heel. Remember Awesome Kong from Impact? They could alter up to be the sort of the WWE version of Awesome Kong. He should just destroys the majority of the roster.
Yeah. Okay then. So we all agree it will be Cargill's team, Belair's team.
Yeah.
So the baby faces will go over in this one. Just looking at match number 6, this is at least on night 1. This is the one I'm most torn over. Who's going to win? If Rey Mysterio didn't beat Dominic Mysterio last year, I feel quite comfortable picking his team. But but at the same time, I feel WWE, they seem to be really high on Dragon Lee at the moment. So I don't know. What do you guys think? I'm leaning towards Mysterio, Rey Mysterio, and Dragon Lee, but I wouldn't be surprised if Santos Escobar and Dominic Mysterio pick up the win. So I'm sort of
and to be honest, if you, I kind of hope Santos Escobar and Dom actually do pick up them, and because I think Santos needs that extra bit of momentum. To be honest, if you to kind of sort of elevate him a bit,
I think
a bit.
I think
What?
Carlito will turn heel. I think Carlito will turn heel and
Yeah.
cost Ray and Dragon Lee the match. That's how I can realistically see it going.
Yeah, and also I think it's a way of Dominic getting his win back over his dad.
Yeah.
I'm sort of leaning more towards that Santos and Dominic picking
and also
up.
that will put also more dissension in the ranks with Judgment Day, because they'll see him and Santos getting all pally and be like, hang on a minute, what the fuck are you doing? Like, you keep doing this, like, are you with them or are you with us? And I think that's going to add to the implosion, as it were.
Yeah, and because I've kind of used to that, they will ask them several weeks in a row. Oh, enemy, and they've almost kind of been in the bad books for 3 years. No, essentially.
Yeah, and I think that's just going to keep escalating until
Yeah.
until it goes their separate ways, as it were.
So the main event is obviously the Rock and Roman versus Odeon's F, and the logic actually it tells me that the heel should probably get them in here to stack the odds and give roads the whole sort of airy end in the second tonight. So yeah, I think the heels will probably pick up the victory.
Well, I kind of gave away my predictions earlier. I think this will be a bloodline night. So, to be honest, I'll be very surprised if Cody and Seth pick up the victory. And if they do, I would lean more towards Reigns picking up the win, actually, on night 2. So I think Rock and Roman will go over. They seem to be building, planted many seeds that they want to do a Rock versus Cody Rhodes match at some point. So I think The Rock will, if that does happen, The Rock will pin Rhodes, and then that will set up a match for them at some point in the future, because Roman Reigns, I feel like, has been completely and utterly outshined by The Rock. I think he's more or less wiped away a huge ton of the aura that they've built up with him over the last 4 years.
Yeah.
So I really do question that booking a little bit, because I'm more hyped to see Rock versus Rhodes than I am Rhodes versus Roman or Rock versus Roman, to be honest with you. But anyway, that's a conversation for another day. I do think the Bloodline will win. I think The Rock will pin Codes, because I think I'm sort of giving my other prediction ahead of time here, but I think Seth will drop that title, and they don't want him to eat 2 pins at WrestleMania. So I think Codes will be the one to take the pin in this match. And like Daniel said earlier, they want to really stack the deck against Cody. And if they are planning to bring Cena and Austin back, you need Rhodes to, add numbers, add the numbers to his, give him some backing. So, I'm going with the Bloodline on this one. I'll be very shocked if they don't win this match.
Yeah, I'll second that. I think what's the most interesting to me is not really the result, but it's the actual match itself, and how the Rock's going to look, and how it's all going to go, and if Reigns is even going to like do more than 2 moves in this match, because he's not used to doing 2 matches in a year, let alone 2 one after the other. So it'll be interesting to see how it pans out. And and how they book the match, as in like in the psychology and the in-ring sort of stuff with it. But it's probably going to be about 20 minutes of entrances and 5 minutes of actual ring work.
I actually think The Rock's just going to stick to brawling in this match as well. I think he may even debut like a new finisher, because I don't know, do a rock bottom now. I mean, he gave a people's elbow to what's his name?
Jinder
Mahal, was it? Whoever it was, and he was completely and utterly gassed. So I can't see him doing a rock bottom. I mean, I could be wrong, but I think apparently he's been training with Bobby Roode.
Yeah.
At like the Performance Center or wherever it is they're training. And Bobby Roode, you know, he's been around the block a few times, so he clearly knows what he's doing in the ring.
Yeah.
So, but I think The Rock is going to proper heel it up in this match.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be pretty. I think it's going to be punch, kick, you know, a lot of smack. And Roman will be doing a lot of the heavy lifting in this match. And it's simply because Rock's older now. He's actually bigger than he was since he last wrestled, if you can believe that to be true. But he is. He's huge. And I think you'll want to avoid getting a hernia. Last time he wrestled a match against Cena all the way back at WrestleMania 29. So, yeah, I think we're all agreeing the bloodline on this one, aren't we?
Yep.
Yeah.
And okay to kick off night two, obviously I've got a bit of a split interest, obviously, because Rollins is one of my favourite wrestlers on the roster, but Drew is my fellow countryman, so I'm kinda boring, but I think just because Ash at the Castle's been announced, I think they'll have Drew McIntyre here go over and beat the all and for the belt to maybe set up for a pretty East cash in for Drew to then beat Damien Priest Ash at the Castle to get the belt back so he can and figure to if CM Punk is a muscle. I don't know what about you guys.
I mean, I've just had a thought now, actually. I'm sort of changing my prediction on this. I'm going to go with Seth Rollins to retain. I think Punk, for all the shit Drew McIntyre's been talking about him, is going to cost Drew this match. But then what will happen is that Seth will be beaten up by the end of this. At the end of this match, he'll be exhausted. And I think The Rock is going to come out and get Damian Priest to cash in the Money in the Bank, because he said something to Rollins which really stuck with me, actually. He said like something along the lines of, I'm going to make sure you lose that belt. He threatened Rollins. I think it was at the last Raw. It was something along those lines.
Yeah, so I can take that away just like that.
Yeah, I can take that away just like that. And I think that's what I'd like to see that happen. I think that might happen. And that could set up animosity between Seth and Cody after the main event. You know, Seth, you weren't there for me when I was there, when I was your Shield, that type of thing.
Yeah.
So it gives Cody someone to feud with until he gets to SummerSlam or Crown Jewel. So I'd like to see that happen. So I'm going to pick another wild card. I'm going to pick Seth Rollins to retain, but then what's his name? What's his name? The Money in the Bank winner, Damian Priest, will come out.
Damian Priest.
Yeah, I think that's what will happen. A big holy shit moment to start night two.
That is I hadn't thought of that at all. It's something quite kind of similar, and actually Harry was the one who sort of was talking about this with me the other day. Is that you've got Drew McIntyre. I think Drew McIntyre wins, and then Priest goes to cash in. But then Punk stops Priest from cashing in because he wants to face Drew for it instead when he's back. And then I think that's another way of then signalling the end of the Judgment Day, because Priest couldn't get the job done either. So not only has he lost the tag team titles, but he's fucked up his cash-in. And really and truly, it's Rhea and Dom who are the only ones that have sort of done anything for Judgment Day of any significance if our predictions come true. So yeah, because you can't forget the CM Punk factor in this, and like you said, Tom, in a way he will get involved, but my original prediction is slightly different.
No, I understand. I think the problem is if what's his name? I keep forgetting his name. Damian Priest.
Yeah, he's been that forgettable, really.
Yeah. Doesn't cash it. If he fails his cash in, then frankly, forget about him going anywhere near a title. He'll be seen as a joke. He's had that. I think he's already perceived to be really dumb for not cashing in that belt at any point since he won it. I mean, it's coming up to a year now since he's.
It'll be a year in July, wouldn't it? Yeah.
He's held it for a very long time, and he's had plenty of opportunities. He could have done it on Raw the other night after.
Could have.
Yeah. I mean, that would have been quite interesting to do. But the only problem with my prediction is, what do you do with Drew McIntyre after that? You don't know. According to Punk, from what he said on, I think, the Ariel Helwani podcast, that he might be back sooner than we think, because apparently his arm or whatever it is he tore is healing up a lot quicker than they originally thought. Because I think the match you want to do is Drew versus Punk, and that's the match Drew McIntyre can build to at WrestleMania. Not WrestleMania, SummerSlam, Punk versus Drew McIntyre, or maybe even at Clash of the Castle. You never know. So, but I think that my idea of The Rock coming out and just ruining everything for Rollins is like, oh, you bastard. Yeah. So The Rock seems to be a man that when he threatens you, he'll carry out that threat at some point, like the whole tonight I'm going to make you bleed. So, but I think Seth Rollins will retain and Damian Priest will cash in at the behest of the final boss.
Yeah, that's not a bad call, actually. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
So the second match is Io Sky versus Bayley for the women's for the WWE Women's Championship, and I'm going to go with Io. And this
I'm going with Bayley.
one think of her sort of own individual sort of moment to kind of step away from the whole sort of war horse in shadow, and I think and I do think Io Sky's title reign has been a bit lacklustre, even though I do enjoy her as a performer. She hasn't really had all that good a title. And so I think it's time to get the belt on Io, to be honest.
Yeah, and again, I think that's another sort of pretty predictable outcome, but I think it just makes all sense logically. I think you could then do. Is Tiffany Stratton on SmackDown or Raw? I can't remember.
SmackDown.
Yeah, so I reckon maybe you could then sort of start pushing her. Okay, we were talking about a minute ago about her probably going to be face at some point, but I think right now keep her as heel, maybe even have her win the Money in Bank, and then you could have her and Bayley maybe have a feud for a bit. Because I don't think Bayley's going to have it for that long, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
I think that will be her big moment. Maybe she'll come out to the hugger theme or whatever it was called, just for that night, and then but I think Bayley's. There's, like you say, Io Sky's. I can't even remember the last time or any time she defended it. To be honest with you, in like any kind of meaningful way or any meaningful feud. So Bayley as well.
So match number 3 is obviously my guy Knight versus AJ Styles, and if LA Knight doesn't go over here, I'm gonna put my remote through the because LA Knight should over, and I think he's the best. I think he's the best guy on the roster. I know Tom's about to have a heart attack because I'm raising ML in right, and I hope that this sort of spur and on to the championships after this. So yeah, LA night to get them. And what do you guys think about that?
I think LA Knight needs this win.
Yeah.
My only concern with this match is LA Knight's not amazing in the ring, and AJ Styles, all of his WrestleMania matches have been very underwhelming. So I can't see this match being any different. This is a match I'm not excited for in the slightest. So, but if I put my personal feelings aside, LA Knight definitely needs this win more than AJ Styles. He has floundered since his match with Reigns at Crown Jewel, however long ago that was. So I predict LA Knight will win this match. Because he needs it more than AJ Styles.
Yeah, I'm going for LA Knight as well. And the funny thing is, I actually agree with you, Tom, in the fact that I actually like LA Knight, and yet I still really don't care about this match. I think it's just been a completely baffling decision for me, because you had the match that is like
Logan
just down
Paul.
there,
Yeah,
just below, that he should have been in. It just made all the sense in the world, and yet they thought, oh, let's revisit that random sort of SmackDown feud that he had with Styles that lasted all of a couple of days. So it was just, I don't know. Don't get me wrong, AJ Styles is great, and I like LA Knight's character, and I agree with you, Tom. He's completely floundered. We were talking about this earlier, weren't we?
Yeah.
It's like his momentum has just been castrated basically by being in that feud far too early for him. I think I remember you saying, Daniel, at the time that you were kind of dreading that, because it's like it's just a bit too soon for him. So LA Knight definitely needs to win, and then they need to start basically not repackaging him, but he needs to go on a bit more of an upward trajectory and start doing some cool shit again.
I remember I posted ages ago when I was responding to one of Daniel's comments on Twitter, that my prediction is that LA Knight won't beat Roman Reigns, but what I think will happen is that he will have a feud with Gunther, and he'll be the one to dethrone him.
Oh yeah,
long reigning IC champion. If LA Knight beats Gunther, I will be beyond furious, because frankly,
there's no way that's happening.
I'll be absolutely doing cartwheels and a bit every night, and a bit every night posts for the rest of the year.
That match has Bret Hart versus Bob Backlund all over it. I don't want to see it. It's not that bad. But I like that. Joking aside, it sounds like I hate LA Knight. I really don't. I just don't get. It's a bit like Jey Uso. I just don't understand why people like them. I don't get it. It's just not for me. But LA Knight to win. AJ, he needs it more than AJ Styles.
Yeah. So far, pretty consistent, all three of us, with our predictions so far. So
I'm actually changing a few of my predictions as when you look at the card and you're thinking about it and you see it in the running order, like, because I was picking Drew McIntyre, but then I just sort of switched to Seth Rollins all of a sudden. So because I just remember what The Rock said to him on Raw. So a couple of my predictions have changed going through it with you guys, which is very interesting.
Yeah, that's cool.
Which match are we on now? 4.
You get so On's going to really enjoy this match for obvious reasons. Logan Paul did defend against her and the Orton Kevin Owens, and I'm sure Owens are absolutely delighted that Randy Orton potentially getting another title reign, because I know him, and because I know how much of a Randy Orton fan. So on is, but who wants to go first to this prediction? I'll start with Sean first because I know that this will be his favourite match of the whole event.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not salty at all at the fact that, Orton at this stage of his career has been put in a US title match where clearly LA Knight should have been in this match, as far as I'm concerned.
That's what
LA
the match
Knight.
should have been. LA Knight and Logan Paul.
Yeah. But I'll try and put my personal biases aside for this one. I think Logan Paul retains due to shenanigans again. I think he'll have everyone from fucking YouTube on his side on this one. So he'll have his brother.
Yeah.
Jake Paul will be there. I think KSI will be there. I think the whole lot will be there. I think Owens and Orton will have some sort of miscommunication, which will probably then lead them to feuding for a bit. Maybe even you have like a sort of a heel turn between one of the two of them, perhaps, as a result.
I would say Kevin Owens.
Yeah,
Kevin Owens
more like at this point, yeah. And I think this is what it should be leading up to Logan Paul and LA Knight at SummerSlam. Because I think
took the words right out of my mouth.
Sorry, mate. Yeah. But I think the promo work between those two could be something special. And I think that could be what gets LA Knight sort of momentum back up there a little bit. So I'm going with Logan Paul.
I agree with everything you just said. I have nothing else to add. One thing I will say is that Logan Paul, I mean, I don't know if you've seen his trash talking when he does boxing and stuff like that, but he's really not that good at it at all. So I expect LA Knight to tear him up on the mic.
Oh yeah, but I mean in terms of like the situations that they could be in. Like,
I know. WWE is very different to boxing.
And you could have like LA Knight turn up on his like podcast or some shit. That happen. You know what I mean? I think that's how it's going to go.
Yeah. No, I have nothing else to add. I agree with literally everything you just said.
I'm pretty much in agreement because the whole sort of it's the whole sort of triple threat dynamic now is kind of a bit off in a sense. So I think there is going to be a bit of miscommunication between Orton and Owens, as Sean said, because they're a bit too palsy with Halsey for a triple threat match. So it's going to actually lead to communication issues actually lead to that arsehole retaining. I'm just going to call him arsehole. And if anybody doesn't know, that I'm talking about Logan Paul, go back and watch the last stream. So yeah, arsehole retains to my absolute disgust, basically.
You know what? If Harry was here, he'd be in complete agreement with you, Daniel. He absolutely despises Logan Paul, and it's kind of like, yeah, I get it, and I understand. Yeah, he is a heel, but also the fact that he just doesn't like the fact that this bloody influencer has come on and got the US. And I totally agree, but at the same time, begrudgingly, you have to admit he's really, really good in the ring. Like considering like, he hasn't grown up in the business.
I mean, I don't like Logan Paul at all, but he has a huge following. Yeah. And from a marketing promotion, it'd be dumb not. And he's clearly very talented. He clearly knows, like, he's basically. Like, I agree with you, Sean. He's very good in the ring. It's not as if he stinks up the joint whenever he has a match. I understand where Harry's coming from, but from a business point of view, it makes a lot of sense having Logan Paul in WWE. Yeah. His following is just enormous, and he's very closely linked with KSI as well, who has a huge following as well. I mean that Prime drink is everywhere you go. It's like number one energy.
Oh god, yeah.
So, touch that shit for the
neither have I. But it's everywhere. It's everywhere. I think it's over than Red Bull in terms of sales or Monster Energy. It's enormous.
Yeah.
I could be wrong, and don't quote me on that, but I just feel like I see it everywhere I go.
Yeah, same here. So the next match will probably be no disrespect to either Carrying Ross or Bobby Lashley. Because I do genuinely, enjoy the two of them, and I think Carrying Ross is a lot, better than being SmackDown's resident jobber. So basically, yeah, I think this is the piss. This is the piss. But to be honest, I'm gonna actually shock you with my prediction, and I'm gonna go, with the final test. To go over here because of the new faction, and they need established and carrying to the needs to build momentum, or unfortunately, it is for the chop though, which is a shame because I really do enjoy, what is on another promotions, but it's a here, so I'm going with the final test. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I mean, like you say, I've got respect for the two main guys, but I couldn't give one iota of a shit about this match. I'm sorry, I just don't care. I mean, I think, like you said, Karrion Kross needs it. I think Bobby Lashley can kind of get away with not winning this one. I think he's established enough. However, I think it's criminal that he is in this kind of match. I think he should be a lot higher up in the pecking order than he actually is, because they just keep ring with him. Like 1 minute, he's like up there with so can we mention his name? Lesnar. And then the next minute he's like just sort of pissing around with factions, and I just think he deserves better. But at the same time, again, not disrespecting Karrion Kross, but I think this is his last chance as far as I'm concerned. I think they fucked around with him too many times, and if they don't really start to push this now, then I don't think he's ever going to sort of live long in the minds of the fans and get over, really. Saying that, though, it's never a bad thing seeing Scarlett on the screen. So,
don't get me started on Scarlett, or I will get it myself cancelled. But I will actually, you see, he's a jammy bastard. I don't know, either that. So he's the Easter gets to he cup next to his Scarlet every morning, so it's not all but had to be honest.
He's next to him. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think this match was put together just so they could get Bobby Lashley on the card. So I think he was left off the last WrestleMania cards, and they didn't want to make that. Definitely, he wasn't in the last one. I think he was left off the one before it. So I think they've done this as a sort of like an apology for him, basically. I think that's the only reason this match exists.
Yeah.
I'm totally indifferent who wins this match. Outside of Bobby Lashley, I'm not really a fan of any of them. So I'm totally
I like Montez Ford. I thought they were earlier on. Was it last year?
Yeah, they were kind of, using a heel turn from, but that was kind of all forgotten about because of the right faction. So that's kind of been swept under the carpet now, though. So it's back to a standard sort of tag team wrestling at the moment.
Yeah, and I think isn't he because his missus is Bianca, Bill Boring Bianca, right? So got that kind of. I know it's not the same, but they got that kind of Total Divas sort of show.
Jeez.
So it's like I don't think he's going to be being heel anytime soon, unfortunately for him. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm actually amazed we've managed to talk about this match for as long as we have. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's the seat warmer for the main event, isn't it? Let's face it. But actually, saying that, it's a street fight, so you might get some chairs. Don't know. Might get some weapons.
This is a 10-minute match at most. It may even be quicker than that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And obviously, the main event, it should come as no surprise, and I think the prediction here will be unanimous. I think the main event of WrestleMania 14 weekend will be a Cody Rhodes victory, because as Tom said in the last stream, they've built it up now so much that wrestling logic dictates that it has happen. So unfortunately, for myself, I have to get used to seeing Cody Rhodes with that belt. Jesus, I still I'm not really looking forward to this, but there you go.
Do you want to rebuttal that one?
No, I mean, we discussed all of it in the last stream. I will say this: there are 6 matches on night 2, and there are 7 on night 1. So I get the feeling this match will be long because shenanigans going along in it. So they're clearly giving this match a lot of time. I imagine the entrances are going to be incredible, and they're going to be long, and they're going to really hype this match up. But one of the things I love when I look back at their first matches, how they did all the introductions, it felt like it was a real fight. The way I love it when they do that in WWE, because it makes it fit. They did it with Brett and Shawn before the Iron Man match. I mean, forget how you feel about the match, but the way they do that beforehand, and it gets you really excited for the match. But ultimately, I think this match is going to be very overbooked, which is how it should be. I think it's going to be chaotic. I think there's going to be a ton of. I think it's going to be just when you think Rhodes is going to get the victory on Reigns, he will kick out, and then make you feel like, oh my god, Reigns is going to retain, but then Rhodes will somehow end up turning it around at the end of the day. So ultimately, my prediction will be a Cody Rhodes victory. I'm not completely ruling out Reigns retaining. I really hope he doesn't, because if he retains, from a storytelling point of view, that is Game of Thrones season 8 bad storytelling. So if you have built this up so much now, that if Reigns was to ever lose that bloody title, it has to be now. If he retains, then WWE and Triple H and Nick Khan, whoever you want to say, they clearly don't have faith in Cody Rhodes to be the next face of the company. They will literally just cut the rope from him, and he'll fall all the way back down to the foot of the mountain again. And what do you do with him then after that? He's going to have a third chance? I mean, it's ridiculous. So I think Cody will win. He should win. You can't go for another year of Reigns not showing up to TV. It's just getting. I know there are some people that defend Reigns. He should beat Hulk Hogan's record. Beat Hulk Hogan's record, but still come third. I mean, there's still, what's he going to do? Bob Backlund next, and then Bruno Sammartino. Is it going to be like this never-ending title reign? And is he going to retire as champion after beating absolutely everybody? This shit has to end now. I'm so over Reigns being champion. Frankly, they could put the belt on bloody Randy Orton or LA Knight for all I care now. I just want that belt off of Reigns. So
every night for champion, please.
So ultimately, I think Cody Rhodes will win. That's all, and that's all I got to say about that.
Well, that leads nicely in, because I don't know, maybe I'm setting myself up for disappointment here, but I think I'm looking forward to more about who could be potentially returning in this match.
Oh, please, I know who you're going to say. I hope it happens. I'll be doing cartwheels all over this room, even though I'm disabled and I can't do cartwheels, but I'll certainly attempt that.
Well, try it. Yeah, exactly. Why the
Yeah.
fuck? Okay? Yeah.
I will say this: if Cena and Austin show up, whether they show up at the beginning and make it a fair fight right from the get-go,
Yeah.
which I think is a possibility, or they show up at the end when it's just chaos for Cody Rhodes and he just simply can't overcome those odds without some backup. Sean mentioned a good point earlier, because we were talking about it earlier. What he thinks should happen, I agree with him, is that when that chaos is all settled down, you have just Reigns and Rhodes in the ring with each other, one-on-one. I don't want to see Reigns get hit by a chair by Austin or hit with an attitude adjustment or a stunner and then Rhodes wins.
Yeah.
It's got to be, there's got to be chaos, but it's got to be a clean win at the same time, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
You don't want someone dropping Reigns flat on his ass and then they just drag Cody over him and he wins that way. That's like they did with Mankind. That won't work in this scenario.
No.
But if Cena and Austin do show up, it's almost guaranteed that Rhodes is winning that match.
Yeah, like you were saying, Tom, you have to, if he is going to be the undisputed champion, then he has to beat Reigns in undisputed fashion.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you kind of, I know this is going back a bit, but you got a slight hint that, Reigns is beatable when fucking Jey Uso beat him at Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
Money in
Chink
the Bank.
in the armor.
Yeah. So I think everything you've just said, Tom, is basically how I see it. I just think if they had booked Reigns as a dominant champion like Gunther, then the possibility of him retaining wouldn't be so jarring to me. But because he hasn't been booked that way, especially this year. Last year, it was a bit better. You had the whole Sami Zayn thing, and I think that was sort of the peak of the actual bloodline side of it. I mean, thank God The Rock has kind of...
Oh, no, this is the peak now. Now.
He's taken the most famous man in the world to actually get people to care about this stuff again.
Mm-hmm.
And he's done it brilliantly. So fair play to him. And I think it has to be... Rock even alluded to it on was it the Tonight Show the other night where him and Reigns were on it? And he was like,
Jimmy Fallon
is Luke Skywalker. So it's like, okay, so night one is going to be like Empire Strikes Back, and then night two is going to be Return of the Jedi. That's just the way I think it.
I don't know if you saw it, but Cody sort of bought the term the Renaissance era. Yeah. So he dubbed the era they're in now as the Renaissance era. Yeah. And I believe he has actually bought the copyright to that tagline. And I've heard a rumor, I don't know how true it is, that they have made a new belt. So I'll believe that when I see it.
Well, actually, as I was just in the kitchen a second ago, just grabbing something, and it was on Twitter. There was, I don't know if this is a shoot thing, but on Cody Rhodes' Twitter, he said there was a fire in his bus, and he managed to grab two things from it that are going to make wrestling fans pop. So, who knows? Maybe it's the new belt and, I don't know, a puppy or some shit. I don't know.
Is that legit? Did he actually have a fire in his bus?
Well, that's this was as of about. It said as of 2 hours.
I saw it, but I haven't seen it reported anywhere.
Yeah, so I don't know whether it's kayfabe or if it's a shoot. I don't know.
Rock is really taking this. Taking this too far.
It's all vodka in there, isn't it? He's gone, right, I'm just going to light this shit up and see what happens.
I'm just going to try and murder Cody and his family.
I mean, where you go from here afterwards is interesting, because then you could have down the line Punk maybe go. I know Punk's going to be tied up with McIntyre and the World Heavyweight Championship. Who do you have challenge Rhodes? And I think that's where you have, like you said before, Tom. That's where you maybe have the Rock come in and be like,
I think maybe you'll have the. I think that'll maybe be like either a SummerSlam match or maybe like maybe even a backlash and for hands, because you need a big
Yeah.
marquee match for backlash, because it's the first ever French pay-per-view, and obviously then you've got and then you've got the like pay-per-view and June and the Avros hunch.
Yeah.
It's really looking forward to, as I've said about the third time. But if you guys get any, standout matches from any you past me, years, because because in preparation for the stream album, watched every single WrestleMania. Yeah, so
You are the fucking man. I wish I could. My intention was to do that, and then life just got in the way. So, like I said to you last night, Daniel, my preparation hasn't been quite as good as yours, so I apologise for that. But the first one that comes to mind, and this is just before I go for a quick toilet break, is Shawn Michaels and Undertaker WrestleMania 25.
yeah, brilliant.
I'll leave you two to discuss that one. I'll go for a quick piss.
Oh yeah. It's like, it's like 2 decades of drama all built up, because before that, before that, Undertaker ever had a victory over Shawn Michaels, so that was the first, year that the streak is kinda in jeopardy. Even also kinda so it kinda culminated into one of the best matches of the industry in my opinion, and that is a 5-star match. I don't know how the hell um Elson never gave that 5 stars. He's
Yeah,
he's
I
a
mean,
fanny that is a 5-star match.
he was well, it's my second favorite match of all time. It's a
Yeah,
match I spoke to you earlier today about it on Twitter, but it's a
yeah,
match I go back. I watched it not long ago, like a week ago, and it's
yeah,
still just incredible. And there's no
yeah,
stupid, there's not stupid, but there's no like it's a hardcore match or anything like that. It's two vets going in
yeah,
there and just putting on just one wanting to prove who's the better out of the two. And it
yeah,
nearly, I forgot about this, it nearly ended in disaster because Undertaker did the
yeah. He
suicide.
fell on his head.
Yeah, he fell on his head. I remember when we watched that live, I was saying, I think this match is over. Undertaker isn't moving. And by some
Yeah,
miracle, he recovered. And then
Yeah,
from
that
that
was
point onwards, from that point onwards, that match was just incredible. And we were watching it live. We watched it live. We went over to our friend's house, and we were just on the edge of our seats. Like
yeah.
it was just amazing. Just that, and Undertaker was in such incredible shape at that time as well because he stopped wearing
yeah,
trousers and started wearing like wrestling tights after that. So I think he sort of wanted to show off,
Yeah.
what physical shape
yeah,
he looked phenomenal. And yeah, just an outstanding match. How Meltzer, as you were saying earlier, Daniel, didn't give that 5-star. He was actually asked by Chris Van Fleet, I think that's his name, why didn't you give
yeah,
it 5 stars? And he says, "Oh, I could just kind of see where it was going. I kind of understood what they were doing." Are you for real, dude? Seriously? Okay, whatever. But my number, if you're talking about other great WrestleMania matches, my number one match of all time is Austin versus Bret Hart in the submission match in WrestleMania 13.
Oh.
yeah. I knew you were going to say that.
A crap WrestleMania, but it has great, in my opinion, the greatest match of all time. Not
Yeah,
because it's a masterclass in storytelling, and it's a great match. And that visual of Austin in the end, and they did the double turn, but it's what happened for the company afterwards that really began like Bret Hart made Austin a superstar in that match, and that had a ripple effect with the company going from really being like this close to going out of business to like just completely turning it around within the space of the year. And it all started with that match. Everything that could go right for them, that like they nailed it. The booking, it's a masterclass in how you book a match and how so many things work. The double turn, the blood at the end, the brawl. You know, it was a submission match, and they can be, you know, Austin's not a submission wrestler, but yet they made it work. I actually found out recently that Brett, because Vince didn't want anybody blading at that time, and Brett, I think he had to hire a blade in his mouth.
So,
he put it in his mouth. He put the tape in his mouth so he could sneak it to the ring, and then he had to basically cut Austin open to get him to bleed, and Austin trusted him enough to do that. But even like it's got one of my favorite Stone Cold entrances as well, where he walks to the ring in that glass.
Oh yeah, the glass.
Oh, and then Brett comes out afterwards, and he has to tread over the glass to get to the ring. It's just a masterpiece. I absolutely love that match. Yeah, so that's my number one match of all time.
Yeah, it's an exceptional match as well. I do agree with your choices, and yeah, but like some of my are obviously, some of my are obviously the Austin or trilogy. Like I enjoy all three matches. I know a lot of people don't enjoy the 15 on for some reason. I disagree with that. I think it's a great man. The only change I would make is to put Mick Foley in it though, all because Foley and Nerdaholics had been feuding for months since the Survivor series in 98, so maybe you could have sorted Mankind and there to make a triple threat, but it's still a really good match, and you've got the 17 match. Here it's a 5-star match in my opinion, and obviously, I know the two of you don't like the finish of that match, and I kind of get the reason. I kind of get the reason. I kind of get the reasons, but you can't deny that. You can't deny that it was an exceptional match. Oh, and it's probably the best match that those who have had to go from an ring perspective.
The match itself is phenomenal, but I just can't look past that god awful finish. Like, I despise that. I mean, it happened so many years ago, and I'm still annoyed about it. I very rarely go back and watch that match because of that ending. Like, it just infuriates me. It's to me.
I will give it this though. It's like when you look back on the way Austin comes out, and you look at it back now, and you think he kind of does look a little bit heelish.
Yeah.
Just the way he's looking at the fans as he's walking out, like, yeah, I'm gonna fucking get me some tonight. You don't know what's coming, kind of thing. In retrospect, but yeah, up until the finish, brilliant, brilliant match.
It's the fact he aligned it. I think the thing that I found that hurt the most is that he aligned himself with Vince. If you want to turn heel, that's fine, but to align yourself with Vince McMahon, like, it made zero sense for you.
Yeah.
Not only that,
the guy that's made your life a living hell for nearly 3 years, and now all your best buddies with him, or you need him to beat The Rock. It's stupid. It's stupid now. JR put it best. It's like turning Austin heel was like casting John Wayne as a villain in your film. It just doesn't work. If you were going to turn Austin heel, they should have done it the following year, around about that time, because when he was sort of drifting with no real direction, after the god-awful Alliance angle. A lot of people think 2001's a great year due to the Royal Rumble and No Way Out and WrestleMania 17, but the rest of it is crap.
Oh, it's shite.
Yeah, it's all...
that Alliance angle was trash.
Yeah.
Really,
worst. Yeah. I know we've said this before, Tom, but like not only aligning yourself with Vince McMahon, but then aligning yourself with the bloke that you've tried to kill for the last couple of months, who tried to kill you in Triple H.
Yeah.
And all of us, you're the 2-man power trip. It's like, hang on a minute. Like literally the pay-per-view before, you had a 2 out of 3 fucking...
Another stupid ending, by the way.
Yeah.
Like I know they tried to murder you, but you put him over. It's dumb. That's another match. I can't watch it because I hate the finish.
Yeah.
And obviously, for obvious reasons, the Rock versus Hulk Hogan is another one.
Yeah.
One of my favourite WrestleMania matches. The crowd did want me into that match though, and like the whole sort of and then the whole sort of Rock sort of match heel turn, that was conceived is organic though. You can't really duplicate that if you try to. The whole thing is just organic and just another reason why I love wrestling. But in terms of other matches, if you get Rich Jericho and Shawn Michaels at the WrestleMania and a fantastic match, and the ending, Jericho puts him in the balls, gets you every time.
Because you think at first, when he goes to shake his hand and stuff, you think, oh no, he's gonna just do it then, and then he does, and then he still does it anyway, and it's just like, For me, WrestleMania 19 is probably over sort of averages, probably the best WrestleMania as far as I'm concerned in terms of consistency. Like when you had Brock Lesnar and Kurt Angle was just off the chain.
Fantastic. That was also a fantastic match, despite the watched shooting star press where Brock on his head because he didn't perform the move. And he was a bit too far away to
it wasn't. Yeah, but I think be able to carry the fact that he carried on anyway after that just shows he is anyway. Do you know what I mean? So
19 is my second favorite Mania. My number one is 17, despite that awful ending.
17's a fantastic pay-per-view because you've got Jericho versus the Eagle and the wrestler who shall not be named versus Angle in an exceptional match, even though he's even although as a piece of shit though, that's an exceptional match, but I don't condone what Benoit did. I'm sorry to any Chris Benoit defenders out there, but he's a piece of shit.
TLC Undertaker versus Triple H. Great matches.
Even, and you know what, you might laugh at this, I even thought the hardcore match was fun.
No, it's great.
Brilliant.
When Kane gets in the golf
the only match show which is I even quite like the gimmick battle royal.
Same here.
So they had what's his name, Bobby Heenan coming. I think it was Bobby Heenan coming out to do commentary. It's just a bit of fun. Don't take it too seriously. There's only one match on the card which I just think is crap, and that was China versus Ivory.
Yeah, China versus Ivory was just a skill horse match. It was so obvious what was going to happen as well.
With the injury and injury. Do you know what I mean? So I don't give a shit about that, to be honest. But even Vince and Shane, that was good.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, Vince and
I
Shane
forgot
was good.
that. That was another great match. Yeah, that was another great match.
With
That
the
storyline
again.
leading up to that, yeah, that storyline leading up to that was amazing.
Yeah.
So many payoffs happened in that match. Like
Yeah.
Vince got his ass kicked in that match.
Yeah. When he did
rightfully
Shane going the coast with the garbage can. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Linda
yeah,
Jr. stand up and kick it all out of his pop.
yeah, in even in even Eddie Guerrero versus Steph was a
Yeah.
decent matches with Elno, to be honest, and I'm kinda actually surprised that they kinda gave up on after
Mm.
or his after or his summer. So street fight match with Sheena felt okay that this guy's going to get pushed to the moon, but he kinda just fell back down the car hard in the years for all. Oh, then the guy had
Yeah.
potential, but I don't know what exactly happened because you thought the guy was going to be a sort of upper sort of a card guy, but he just fell down in the car
Yeah.
shortly after.
He was pushed quite heavily during the Alliance angle. I remember seeing him
Yeah,
around a lot.
And when he did the Un-Americans thing, and he was Undertaker
yeah,
in the mix with him quite a bit around that time as well. So
yeah,
yeah, it was a shout, and another one gone too soon as well. Rest
yeah,
in
yep,
Yeah, I'm trying to think like my favorite WrestleManias. I mean, 17, 19, 21's really good.
good.
yep.
I quite like WrestleMania 10.
Oh yeah, WrestleMania 10's good.
Yeah, mainly because that Brett versus Owen match is phenomenal,
Yeah.
and Michaels versus
Yep,
Razor Ramon in that ladder match is really good as well. And it's finally good to see Brett win that belt, but not through some
Yeah.
bullshit shenanigans like happened at WrestleMania 9.
yeah,
Yeah.
but
That was a good
but Yokozuna kind of screwed that up as well, though, because he kind of
Yeah.
fell off the top rope and it made the finish a bit sort of shite, though. Oh,
Yeah.
to be honest, he
It did. It
kind
did.
of fell off the rope.
It did, but I felt like Brett was really screwed over at WrestleMania 9 by
Yeah.
backstage
Yeah,
politics. But Hogan left not long after that as well, so it was kind of like
yeah,
the point of that.
Yeah. It was a bit of a waste.
Yeah, WrestleMania 9 is
Yeah.
one of the worst WrestleManias. Easily
Yeah.
Undertaker's worst WrestleMania match.
Oh,
WrestleMania
it's
30, I
awful.
really enjoyed WrestleMania 30. I thought, even though The Undertaker lost that match, I thought that
Oh,
Daniel Bryan storyline was
yeah.
handled masterfully. So,
Yeah, but
WrestleMania 30, I really liked.
you get but there's two really there's two really awful booking decisions about the WrestleMania 30 that piss me off. And now Sean's actually known me long enough to know what they are, but I know. One of the streak and the other one and the other one is but I get getting beat by that kind of
Yeah.
killed that kind of killed the whole sort of cult. He does there's nobody the best there's
Bray Wyatt,
there's nobody
right through,
yeah
unfortunately, until he passed away, never recovered from that loss. He was
yeah
never, ever the same after that. No matter how much they tried to repackage him, face, heel, he's this cult leader now. He's the Fiend. He never recovered from that. I don't think he did. I think
No.
all his momentum died at. Sorry, that's not the right word terminology to use.
No,
His
no.
momentum
Yeah.
flatlined at that point, and it just nosedived from there. And I don't think he was ever really taken that seriously again after that, because
yeah
the Wyatt family just had this amazing feud with the Shield, one of the greatest matches ever. The
yep
Shield versus the Wyatt family. That match is phenomenal. And that was like, okay, this is the new generation right here. these guys going forward will be the faces of the company, or they'll be right up there at the top with whoever the face of the company is. And then when Wyatt lost that match to Cena, it was one of those. Did Cena really need to win that match? I mean,
no, he never.
It's a bit like what he did with the Nexus. It kind of had that vibe there.
Oh God!
He's the whole heel Cena, where he's like, "Should I? And you're like, "All right, if Cena's going to win this match, the only way I'm going to tolerate it is if he just starts battering Wyatt with the chair, and that's the only way he could win." But no, he has to do it the old fucking superhero way as usual. And then they cemented his burial like 2 years later with that stupid cockroach shit in the middle of the ring with Randy Orton.
Oh.
And it's like, again, Orton didn't need to win that match either. And then that's not me, like, again, my personal bias against Randy Orton aside. So you've got John Cena and Randy Orton going Bray Wyatt. And it's like, those wins, as far as I'm concerned.
I bet WWE are. And when I can't stand Goldberg. I've never been a Goldberg fan.
I know where you're going. Oh my God, that crushed me.
Yeah.
Like the way okay, fine, well, we don't know what to do with the Fiend, so we're just going to get Goldberg to squash. What a
Jesus Christ almighty.
Him and Ronda Rousey should form a tag team together. You know.
Yeah.
WWE don't owe you anything, Bill. They don't, I'm afraid. You squashed Lesnar. You had 2 world championship runs. You squashed Bray Wyatt, and you still think you nearly killed the Undertaker, by the way, and you still think they owe you something. You're an idiot, man.
Not only
such an idiot. I can't stand this guy.
Not to mention what he did to Brett as well. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. It's like, dude, like you've ended more. I mean, you've. It's like what Undertaker said. You know, he's crippled. You know, like when Undertaker said to The Rocks, "I've crippled more people than polio." Yeah. That is what Goldberg.
And feeling, and feeling so, but Brett doesn't stop. And it's like if at a race now, he's always got something to moan about.
That's why
it's like, and it's like, okay, you're a talented wrestler, and I want to be able to respect you, but Jesus Christ, you're like an old fish. Hey, stop. I can't actually listening to him and always shooting of views because it's always just a constant. The guy never smith. The guy never smith. I use it all. Either it's like Jesus Christ, you're such a miserable person.
The stroke might have something to do with that. I don't know, but like I think it used to annoy me, but over time, maybe because I've just got grumpy in my old age as well. I just think it's brilliant, and also it reminds me. I said this to you, Daniel, and Tom. You'll appreciate this. He reminds me of Dave Mustaine. 20 years later, 30 years later, he's still going on about Metallica. It's like, yeah, Brett's still going on about games.
I think in Brett's defense, he's always been a company guy. Like he did everything for Vince. Like one of his brothers died or something like that, and yet he wrestled the show the next day. Or someone. I'm talking about Owen. I think someone else very close to them in the family. I think it was one of his brothers. And but don't quote me on that. And yet, you know, he exited WWF the way he did, and he was treated appallingly in WCW, only for his career to be stopped short by Goldberg, who's a fucking moron. You know, who injured people all the time. And I was talking to Harry about this the other day. Like Bret Hart and Sting, they prided themselves on never hurting, making it look real and legit, but never hurting anybody. There are people who would get, like Bret Hart, would drop an elbow on your head from the second row, and they said it'd be like being hit, I've just been tickled by a feather. I felt nothing. He made it look so and real. So I think that's ultimately why Brett really harbors a grudge against Bill, because it's not only did he end his career, like he suffered strokes because of it, and it was, and just the way his whole career ended. I do understand where you're coming from though, Daniel. I think he can bang on about it every now and then, but frankly, Bill Goldberg deserves it. I can't stand that guy. I've never been.
Yeah, but to me, he is never. To me, he says he's over Montreal. Then 5 minutes later, he's back to bitching about Montreal. It's like, Jesus, you just said you were over it. Oh my God! He just needs to. He just needs to shut his mouth. I do genuinely. I do genuinely respect his output of my matches, but Jesus Christ, he's the biggest own hole in the history of the entire industry. It just drives me nuts, to be honest.
I can see you just about to rip your hair out there, Daniel.
I don't know. When it comes to Brett, more moaning the better. I just love his honesty. Yeah. He's just so brutally honest. Yeah. He doesn't sugarcoat anything. And like when he gave, I think he gave Undertaker versus Triple H the Hell in a Cell match a 4 out of 10. And you're crazy. But then when he gives his reasons for it, it's like, I get where you're coming from, actually. Like, he's like, why is this match a Hell in a Cell match? They barely use the cell. He's like,
and can I just actually say that Iron Man at WrestleMania 12 is just utter garbage. It's all just the rest holds. It's so. And it took me about 2 separate attempts to watch that. Watch it, because honestly, it's just so overrated and boring, and it gets far too much praise for WWE and for them and from himself. It was just it was awful.
Yeah,
I hate it.
I think I wouldn't say I hate it, but I think it was booked very poorly. I think if you had multiple falls, or let's say Brett gets 2 falls over Shawn Michaels, and then Shawn has got to come from behind and try and at least level the playing field, and then they go into extra time, like what they did in Iron matches going forward. Vince, I think from what I've understood, Vince had this weird thing. He did not want both of his top guys at that time to eat multiple pinfalls within the space of such a short time. But why make it an Iron Man match then? So
exactly.
Yeah, so I think it was the booking that, to be honest, I've never really enjoyed that many matches Brett and Shawn had with each other. I think the matches Brett had with Owen are amazing. The matches he had with Austin are amazing.
It had an exceptional SummerSlam match with the Undertaker SummerSlam 97. Michaels was the referee. He had that Ground to Zero match with the Patriot that I found that I found enjoyable. That is a brilliant match, to be honest, and I think that match has to get acknowledged more from the company, because there's nothing wrong with that match at all, and it doesn't really get acknowledged by the company. I mean, the Patriot put in a good performance, and so did Bret Hart. To be honest, I don't really see the problem of that match at all. It's an excellent match to go and watch. I don't really see why the WWE don't acknowledge it, to be honest.
I mean, it is definitely a forgotten gem. That match, believe it or not, has my favorite ever Shawn Michael entrance, and he's dressed as a referee.
Yeah.
I love his entrance in that match. You know, he's just so good at playing that, you know, cocky
Dickhead.
dickhead. And Brett being super serious like he was, like, it's just, you know, Brett just looks at him with absolute disgust. And you know the two of them really don't like each other, and Undertaker's just in the middle between them, you know, caught between those two feuding with each other. But that's when Taker lost the championship. Yeah. After beating, I think he held it for quite a while.
He beat Psycho Sid after Psycho Sid shot himself. He shot himself in the middle of Undertaker delivering the tombstone. Only shot himself before it, and then he got they put him in the tombstone. Oh no, God.
Of all the fucking moves as well to do that in, it's like, oh, your ass is in his face, mate. Why now? He's amazing on Twitter, by the way, at the moment. Psycho Sid, he's fucking
he's amazing. He's entertaining the shit on that pillar. I love him.
I think my favourite one was just when he said, "I want to powerbomb Dave Meltzer," and that was it.
Yes, don't we all?
Yeah, true.
Oh, he did it for me today. He said he wanted to powerbomb Ronda Rousey.
Like,
yes.
Yes, we do. I don't know. Oh my God, I've had so many rants about Ronda Rousey on this channel over the years, and Sean's been on the channel with me for pretty much the majority of the Ronda Rousey rants, so I've said all I need to say about Ronda Rousey, to be honest, and he's I think because he knows how much I can't stand.
And him.
I'm totally with you on that, Daniel. I despise Ronda Rousey. I cannot stand Ronda Rousey. I think she is. I even disliked her when she was in the UFC. Her rise was like exciting to watch, but she has not been the same since she got knocked out by Holly Holm. I can't stand her. She's so self-entitled. She thinks the world owes her a favor. I don't think she's ever been that passionate about really anything since that point. She just does it all for money, which is fine. You know, you want to earn your money. But then to go around and just shit on the company that, frankly, you know, put you over. Like, I remember that first match she had. They put her over big time. She was in a match with Kurt Angle. She beat Triple H and Stephanie McMahon, who at that point, you know, nobody could get a win over them unless it was like the ending of a storyline.
Yeah.
And they pushed her to the moon. They made her like a top talent. For her to go around and just shit all over the company afterwards. I can't Ronda Rousey. I was absolutely delighted when Amanda Nunes battered her face for like took her 40 seconds to wipe the floor with Ronda Rousey. Yeah. So I really enjoyed it. It's one of my favorite fights to go back and watch. I can't stand her at all.
And can I just say before we carry on the discussion any further, and I hope you do actually stick to your promise and say that you're never going to return, because the majority of your matches are god or awful, and the only reason why you looked $1 million is because you were in there with icons of the industry, Triple H and Kurt Angle, and even Stephanie has even more ability than you. That just shows you how shy you actually are as a performer. And Stephanie McMahon is head over heels a 5-star performer compared to you. You watch every move that you do in the ring, and now you're and how you are on the and how you're on the ring of honor. which is basically AEW's show, to be honest. If you so yeah, so I hope you stay along. To be honest, because I've got other awful, and you don't respect the fans either. You're always having to go what the fans is themselves, to be honest, and that pisses me, and that pisses me off as well, and every fan, people that have high up positions in a certain band. I'm having a go at the people that pay your paychecks, basically. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I
it.
mean, as soon as the training wheels came off of her, it just fell apart for her. Unless her match was like everything was planned out from every minute. Okay, this is going to happen, that's going to happen. She was like a deer in the headlights. Like the four horsewomen just wrestled circles around her.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, so
You knew-
I get the
well,
feeling they weren't too happy with her either. They're kind of passive aggressive
Yeah.
when talking about her.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't miss Ronda Rousey. I don't want her back. There was a rumor at one point she was coming back to the UFC. Great, get her in there. Let's watch her get battered again in another fight. You know, so
and now she's like doing all these sort. Now I don't know if this is true or not. It's allegedly that something to do with Drew Gulak. Is there something
yeah.
sort of
Let's
allegation
just wait for
there
that
as
to
well?
be seen. Yeah,
Yeah.
but I've lost my train of thought now. But the thing is with Rousey as well is that
Yeah.
Undertaker actually said it in one of his recent podcasts. The fans can sense when you're phoning it in, and they can sense these things. And as soon as they clocked onto that with her, they're like, "Well, you know, why should we care about you?" By the way, her promos were crap as well.
Oh, they suck.
Oh God, yeah, very monotone. It was like Microsoft, like basically, how the sort of monotone robotic voice that reads out text. So that is Ronda Rousey in every promo.
Yeah, and also the weird like eye makeup shit that she used to wear.
Oh
And, like,
God.
you're supposed to be like the baddest woman on the planet, and yet you're coming out and going like that, and it's like, wait, hang on a minute. So I mean, I don't think it was a good idea from the start. I mean, okay, maybe they thought it was good business at the beginning, but when they suddenly realised, oh shit, she can't do anything. You know what I mean? She can't cut a promo, she can't wrestle, and then and I think in a way it kind of helped skyrocket Becky Lynch to a degree with the whole man thing, because people were like, yeah, no, this is who we actually want, and Rousey fucking got on her high horse.
You know what the
saying,
funny
booed me, so fuck you. It's like
the irony is of that, Sean, is that Becky Lynch, who isn't a real fighter, for lack of a better term, made you believe she was a bigger badass than the one who's a legit fighter.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So, it just goes to show. I think anybody could come back, but I just stay away. Her and Goldberg form a tag team together, go to AEW, and they can wrestle Adam Copeland and Samoa Joe or someone like that.
Yeah.
What else? Like, I've just realised it's quite late, so I could talk about one more WrestleMania. Then I'm gonna have to shoot.
Yeah, I've got work at 8 o'clock in the morning, so I'm going to do the same in a minute as well, mate.
So what do you want to talk about? Is there any other standout matches that you enjoy?
I mean, I will say this: the WrestleMania 20 main event with Triple H, Shawn Michaels, and the Invisible Man. I know we said our thing about him earlier on, but there's no denying that was a good fucking main event. I will give him that.
Yeah.
But and the fact that it was a triple threat as well, which I don't normally like, but it was good.
Michaels and Triple H made the Invisible Man look like a megastar that night.
Oh yeah,
They both bled, and Benoit, the Invisible Man, was the only one that didn't bleed. So by the actual visual alone, he came off looking the stronger out of the three. That is an exceptional match. Kurt Angle versus Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 21.
Oh yeah.
matches of all time. That might be my third favorite match of all time, actually.
And I was actually pleasantly surprised with the fact that Angle went over as well, because I thought
I love the finish of that.
Yeah.
I thought Michaels at that point was still like kind of in it for himself, but that kind of sort of proved, oh, hang on a minute, okay, he's finally coming over. He's mellowed out in his old age a bit there, so I thought that was fair play as well.
Yeah.
And they've got Eddie Guerrero and Eddie Guerrero and Rey Mysterio on that card that had an exceptional match, and they were both they were both the SmackDown Tag Team Champions at that point. It was a good match, but also other good matches I enjoy. I know it's ill, decent, but Europe versus Charlotte. It is a good match. So if you go back and watch that, Sean just basically he puts a heart and soul in that match, and I know the three of us. Kind of complain a bit about Charlotte being overpushed, but she is talented as well, though. Oh, and I think the two of them have good chemistry as well. So that was a really good match as well.
She's very talented. I wouldn't dispute that at all. I think she's exceptionally talented. One thing I don't like is they build her up like she's a 14-time world champion, which means in a short space of time you've lost it 13 times. So you're not
exactly.
I don't know. I preferred it like Austin was a 6-time champion, Rock was a 7-time champion, Undertaker barely had the belt. I mean, that's what's been so impressive about the Roman Reigns run, despite how he wins. To be champion for that long it means you've barely lost it. You've held it for such a long time. And I think Charlotte is overpushed. I don't think she's that great on the mic either, but her in-ring is really good. You know what? Another WrestleMania match that I really enjoy, because it's kind of like Rock Hogan before Rock Hogan, and that was Hogan and the Ultimate Warrior at WrestleMania. Crowd make that. It's booked to perfection. They're limited with what they can, because Ultimate Warrior because Hulk Hogan, believe it or not, is actually a very good wrestler. He just never used it. When he went to WWE, you should see some of his stuff he did in Japan. He was doing drop kicks and enziguri.
No fair.
But he completely abandoned that when he went to WWE. But that, like, the crowd are berserk for it. That, in ring, it's nothing to really write home about, but the storytelling in the ring is some of the best you'll ever see in a wrestling ring. WrestleMania 10's great. That's a great match as well.
But to pick up on Ultimate Warrior matches, the best Ultimate Warrior WrestleMania match has to be the match with Randy Savage at WrestleMania 7 with the amount of near falls.
That is a great match. Easily Ultimate Warrior's best match.
Oh, by
easily. Much remember made him look incredible in that match. Hogan and Andre for the Spectacles, another really big match.
WrestleMania 2, the British Bulldogs. I thought that tag match was great. I thought
to be honest that was actually brilliant. And shout out to Brother Onwin, who's the daughter of the Dynamite Kid, who actually for all was both me, Ian, Sean, and X now. So basically we've been kind of chatting back and forth. If you need to get in or the wrestling discussions, and maybe cool shit will happen to you, Tom. But she's actually pretty open about speaking with fans about her father's career and stuff.
I know. I've seen her on Twitter. Bret Hart, because Dynamite Kid was really tight with the Hart with the Hart family, wasn't he?
Yeah.
So yeah, I wonder if she's ever met. I'm sure she has. She's ever met Brett or Owen. When
Yeah, I'm sure she has.
yeah. But no, she comes across as a very genuine, kind, person. So who seems to be really keeping her dad's legacy alive, which is very sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah. With all like the Dynamite Kid stuff and like the memorabilia and some of the Japan as well is wicked.
And I hope to actually, maybe invite her onto the channel just to kind of get some sort of legitimate sort of insight on the channel, because I kind of want to grow the whole sort of wrestling aspect on the channel, because right now my passion for it's because Alpha, I know way after years of complaining about not having a score on his paper view, I'm finally getting a page view, and I'm sure and Sean's probably like, oh, thank God I don't have to listen to him
No, never.
own constant. Lena, so I'm going to try and get to a case as soon as they go on sale, but they've not announced it yet, so Hydro sort it out, because I'm actually to go at this point. I'm fired up for it, and it's a pity Sean can't come can't come and embrace the experience.
That'll be the first of many, I think, because they've done loads in England, so I'm sure they'll start doing like Raw and SmackDowns and stuff there.
Speaking of Clash of the Castle, I was convinced Drew was going to win that match against Reigns.
Yeah,
I thought that was the moment Reigns was
everyone in that arena was as well.
yeah. And then I remember that match. Drew loses, and then Tyson Fury gets in the ring with him and sings American Pie with him. It's like, that is such a dumb ending.
So random.
Yeah, but it's the same kind of treatment they gave him. Hooker at the end of SummerSlam 93, where they had him hoisted up on the shoulders of the locker room. It's a similar sort of thing they did to Drew at the end of that match, if you think about it.
Yeah, no wonder he's so bitter and salty these days. He's like, hang on a minute, fucked a lot of you. That's what he's doing now.
Yeah.
I think he's the best character in the company right now.
Oh yeah, I love Drew McIntyre. He's easily doing his best work, and he wasn't upstage, because I consider Punk probably the best promo cutter in that company at the moment. And but Drew really held his own against him.
Yeah.
So I was quite impressed. Yeah. I love that segment, by the way, with Punk, Rollins, and Drew McIntyre.
Oh yeah, that was great. Because they went sort of off the script, didn't they? They were just here's like some bullet points, but just go ahead. And
I remember when Drew said, "I'm the chosen one," and Punk was like, "Yeah, who called you? Who dubbed you the chosen one? Which paragon of virtue made you the chosen one?" And you can see Drew, he's corpsing, like he's trying not to laugh because he's like, you bastard,
you bastard."
And to be honest with you, the storylines have got a lot better, and I'm really looking forward to the WrestleMania. But all eyes for me, given man Ashen, Alex, in the police service, but all eyes for me is on June the 15th at the Hydro, and I hope to rise to get a ticket. Because it's only a 14,000 capacity arena, believe it or not, lads. So I need to get on it CP, but like if I do obviously attend the show maybe a couple of days after the fact, I'll do a pre-record or a review, and if
Definitely.
you are available to do a follow-up, we'll do a follow-up live
You know,
stream on it because either this is like a summer slam 92 moment,
Yeah.
and I know that sounds stupid
No.
there, but like to me, yeah, it's as big as summer slam 92, even though it's not at a stadium show
that's
because they've not ever had a pay-per-view
that's that's
over in Scotland.
that's another great Bret Hart match, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah,
With the British Bulldog.
yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
I remember the beginning of that pay-per-view. They were interviewing fans outside, and then this kid goes, "British Bulldog's gonna win, whether he wants to or not."
Or not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm actually surprised they didn't go for a stadium, but then I think that wasn't it
I
like
thought it was a
Murrayfield and
stadium.
the Foo Fighters are playing at the same weekend or something like that, and I think maybe that's what was the reason why you think
Yeah.
do another weekend.
Oh, yeah, but I absolutely hate Edinburgh as a city. Like to be honest, the people are assholes. To be totally honest, if you like, obviously, yeah, I'm just outside the Glasgow, so there's a bit of a east versus east coast sort of east going on. It's the same. It's the same everywhere in the world. The east and the east don't get on, so that's basically kind of what it is in Edinburgh. But I hate people on the east coast as well,
Yeah,
so yeah,
that's
so it kind of goes hand in hand. So thankfully, the superior city in Scotland actually gets the pay-per-view, and Hampton Park isn't the greatest stadium either. Though. Oh,
right.
as I've told you, Sean, because obviously
Yeah,
I've been there quite a lot for obvious reasons, as you know.
yeah,
But like, it's not the best. It's not the best stadium, even although it's had a couple of renovations. So that's why I think they opted for the hydro in a
yeah,
sense, if you know what I mean.
yeah. That's fair enough. They're doing SmackDown there as well, aren't
Yeah,
they? Yeah. See, the only thing that annoys me about what they're doing with like the last few shows they've done over here, where they just release it as a double package at first. So you have
yeah.
to basically buy both tickets, and then, but if you don't want to go to both, you just want to go to one, you have to then wait like another few weeks to just go to the one. And then by that point, you get like the fucking, the seats up in the gods, and it's a bit like, do you know what I mean? So,
Although, although, well, I'm kind of used to that because the disabled section of the hydro is up in the gods anyway, because it's
oh, is
all
it?
power. Yeah, because it's all platforms, you see, so it's kind of all up in the gods anyway.
Yeah.
It's not like, say, Celtic Park, where you're near, like, the picture or anything. At the hydro, you're up on a platform, basically,
Okay.
for the disabled section.
All right. Yeah.
On a slightly different, just one more question before we wrap it up. I'm quite curious to get your opinion on this. If Cody Rhodes, and put your personal feelings to one side, Daniel, if Cody Rhodes does beat Reigns, how long do you think he'll hold that belt for until he drops it? And if he does drop it,
Yes.
who will he drop it to?
He'll hold it. He'll hold it till He'll hold it till He'll hold it to Muscle. And I think all and so heel, because I think they're getting to the stage where you have to take Rollins off TV so he can heal from all the injury and he'll come back and then heal and he'll fight Rhodes at maybe Slam and then take the belt off him at SummerSlam due to some sort of shenanigans or something basically. Yeah, that's what I think will happen.
That's plausible. That's
I
plausible.
reckon he'll hold it, like you say, till SummerSlam. I think they'll do, well, it'll either be that or a Saudi show. I think you'll have Rock and Rhodes, and I think Rock will put Cody over, and eventually, I prefer the final boss thing at the moment, but I think
Yeah.
he's gonna want to turn back face again, and then I think later on down the line, not necessarily for the title, but I think that's when then you start building towards Roman and Rock next year.
If you're having, I agree. If you're gonna have Rock and Rhodes, and if Rock loses, for him to continue on as a heel to face Reigns, it doesn't really make that much sense to me. So I would, if Rhodes does beat Rock, and he should beat The Rock should be putting people over at this point in his career. He's like really at the right tail end of his career now.
Yeah.
Then it would make sense for him. Like, okay, you beat me. You beat the
a bit like the way Lesnar did.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
showed him that respect sort of thing. And then I think going forward,
whereas for The Rock to remain, sorry, Sean. Whereas for The Rock, if he was to beat Rhodes, then I don't know. That doesn't sit well with me. I don't think The Rock should be beating, frankly, anybody unless it's like part of some tag match. That's why I'm okay with him winning. I don't think I think it's absurd unless he shouldn't be beating anybody like, in my opinion, like Cody Rhodes or someone high up on the pecking order. It's counterproductive.
So inevitably, Ian, and this will be the last point before we finish up, and I get you to do your shout outs, I promise, but I just want to put a question to you. So inevitably, we're going to get Roman versus Rocket next year's WrestleMania. Would you have the Rock put over Roman, or would you have like a heel Rock beat Roman, and at some point he could maybe run them a match back at, say, a SummerSlam or whatever, basically? How would you go with that, or would you put over a face Roman Reigns over a heel Rock at that race? And next year's WrestleMania, how would you go about it?
I think Roman and Rhodes will have a rematch at a Saudi show or a SummerSlam, and it's either a Saudi show or a SummerSlam, and Rhodes will win. I think Rhodes and Rock, they really should have a match. They've planted so many seeds, and I think Rhodes will win that. In regards to my question, I think Rhodes will hold the belt for at least a year. I don't think he'll drop it after 6 months. I think he'll hold it for at least a year and maybe drop it in next year. Putting some new talent over or something like that. And I fully expect Roman Reigns to beat The Rock. I cannot see any other. It would be so counterproductive if The Rock beat Roman Reigns. I fully expect Roman Reigns, whether he's a heel or a face, to beat The Rock at WrestleMania, and I expect him to do it clean as well. By the way, whether he's a heel or a face.
And I mean that could even potentially be, because with Roman's schedule at the moment, that could even potentially be a double retirement match or something like that, depending on how far down the line you go and how much more you can squeeze out of this whole bloodline thing.
Yeah. Roman Reigns, he's kind of already a special attraction anyway now. By how often he wrestles. I think I would find it a little bit odd for him to hold the belt for that long, to lose it and then not have a rematch. Maybe I watched too much boxing and UFC for my own good. But a long reigning champion, by tradition, they always have a rematch, no matter how dominant or close the victory is, they always have a rematch because they've held the belt for so long. So, well, unless you're Conor McGregor, so I think they should have a rematch, and then Rhodes and Rock should have a match, and then the main event for next year is Roman and Rock, and Roman should win.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then The Rock will not have any matches. That will be his last match.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think The Rock has 2 matches in him, one against Rhodes and one against Reigns, and this tag match, so technically 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, same here. And I think it's about time that he goes into the Hall of Fame now as well, because now that he's on the board, maybe that there's a chance of that happening. And like, he should have been in the Hall of Fame long before now, because of what he's done for the wrestling and business, and what he's done after his proper career. He should actually be in the Hall of Fame by now.
Oh, he'll go in.
To be honest.
Yeah. I know what you mean. I'm surprised he hasn't already. You know what I mean? I keep thinking that he already is, and then I realise, oh wait, no, he isn't, is he? So
it's just slightly unfortunate for The Rock that he was in the same era as Stone Cold Steve Austin, because when Austin was around, he was always seen as number 2, which isn't a bad thing because Austin was just so white hot. But once Austin, I think once Austin retired and Rock went off to make a load of movies, and when he would come back, it would be the reactions he would get would be like off the charts. But this might possibly be my favorite version of The Rock. I'm not even kidding. I think he's that good. It feels realistic. It feels real. Maybe it's because of all the acting chops he's acquired over the years, but this may be the best version of The Rock. For me, it's either that or sort of 1999 to 2001, 2002 Rock.
Yeah,
the People's Champion Rock, basically.
Yeah, it's basically a hybrid of all of his best stuff, isn't it?
Yeah,
and like bringing back like the old like Versace outfits and stuff like that, the throwbacks to like the old stuff, and
that cowskin one he had is the exact same one he wore back in like what 2000.
That was it. Was it the exact same?
Same one. Yeah,
that's amazing. Yeah.
So he found it in his closet, dusted it off, wore it. It looked a little tighter on him.
Yeah, a little bit.
He's so much bigger now.
Yeah.
Anyway, guys, I'm really going to have to call it a night now. So I really enjoyed.
Okay, so like shout outs before you go, Sean. I know you've got your gig in Chelmsford tomorrow night. So have you got anything coming up in the channel, guys, before we finish shop?
Well, first shout out is to you, Daniel. Thank you for having us again. This has been absolutely brilliant as usual. Big up to yourself, and long may this continue. And especially considering the fact that there's a show that we don't talk about anymore, and we'll talk about wrestling instead. I think you're doing a grand job, mate.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I should have Sophie will get a bit of almost around to the corner. I'll get a bit of ale each out of that. and no, I'm sure. But thanks for coming on. Thanks to the guys are in the chat, even Sean's band's albums in the playlist. So's the YouTube channel and so's the X accounts. Enjoy WrestleMania, boys, and obviously, remember to stay subscribed to this channel for some more wrestling content as well. To everybody in the chat, thank you for tuning in and enjoy the WrestleMania. Everybody, hit the like button, share, subscribe, and hit the bell to get the and the notifications for um on different bits and pieces of wrestling and content and stuff like that. So I'll end the stream here. Thanks for joining me, boys, and enjoy WrestleMania.
Take it easy, mate. Take it easy,
Cheers,
everyone.
Daniel. Cheers, Daniel. Thanks for having me on, and anyone who's watching.